It's way too young, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype. Throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah.
Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Hope everybody's doing okay today. I am chilling. Now, I've been keeping up with all the sports. I've been watching TV a little bit the past few days. And I will say this. In the NBA, the luck of the Irish is out and about. The Celtics finally get the W at the crib. They haven't won at home all series, lost the first two games. We all know that. We all got worried. Oh my goodness, is Boston the worst number one seed? I don't think they are. The Celtics beat the Bulls last night to go up 3-2. We know that Isaiah Thomas drops 22, and so did his boy Avery Bradley. The two boys from Tacoma, Washington, down the street and around the corner from one another. Both of them giving that type of production, especially considering Avery Bradley's a defensive player. A little bit of that Patrick Beverley effect with him giving a little bit of an offense and adding that to supplement what the Celtics were trying to do and help them get the win. The Bulls, they had four starters with double figures, so there were people producing, but with Horford, Bradley, and Isaiah Thomas all dropping 20 in the bucket, I mean, come on, of course the Celtics are going to get the W. It's only a matter of time, right? But I will say this, shout out to Isaiah Cannon, my boy from Murray State, 36 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 11 shooting. I see you, Isaiah. I see you, bro. Do your thug thizzle. He was a great player at Murray State. A lot of people know about campaign, but this guy, Isaiah Cannon, let me tell you, I've seen him dropping a few threes in my day, and if he just stays at it, I think he can have a successful NBA career for a long time. He's been in there about 3 or 4 years now, but Isaiah Cannon, shout out to you, bro, getting a little clock. I see you, man. I see you. However, Rajon Rondo, they need you now, because it's obvious that Chicago, they are just not the same team without his type of point guard, triple-double abilities that he has. He's not a big scorer, but he's a big distributor. And people talk about the mailman, but this man, Rajon Rondo, delivers more parcels than UPS, FedEx, DHL. You can name the delivery company. Rajon Rondo has to find a way to get back on the court. The Bulls last night had 16 turnovers, gave up 23 points off turnovers. And Stephen A. Smith, this is why he has to play. If y'all didn't see, ESPN First Take showed a little segment yesterday. Stephen A. Smith tried to flame the hairline, but I'm not tripping because I want to talk basketball. I want to talk about the fact that this man's crazy if he thinks that Rajon Rondo should sit out in the playoffs. If the Bulls are going to try and win a championship, this is a year against a Cavs team later on in a few rounds who doesn't play much defense. Whereas Chicago and Fred Hoiberg and those guys, yeah, they shoot, but they also play D. And Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, you give me those two guys defense all day against the Cavs, and I guarantee you Chicago will be in this series. People want to talk about Washington, Boston, the Celtics, the Wizards. Yeah, okay, so what? But people forgot about Wade. Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move the lips. It's just a bunch of gibberish. They forgot about Wade. Don't forget about Dwayne Wade. You know Slim Shady, and he's the real Dwayne Wade in Chicago. That's why he went to the Bulls, to play in the house that Michael built, to win a championship. So, D-Wade, if you got to talk to Rondo in his locker and get him to come out and say, hey, man, Rondo, I know your thumb's hurt, but we need you, bro. Kobe did this, Rondo, with a broken finger. Now, I'm not saying that you're Kobe or trying to compare you, put you on that level, but Rondo, muster it up. I know it's a thumb. I know it's tough, but wouldn't you want to be the guy that came back with the broken thumb and has the narrative and the story to save his team, the Chicago Bulls? Get that thumb out of your bum and get back on the court. I've seen that thumb before. I remember, Rondo, if you forgot, when you came to Gaddyland, you paid me in all $2 bills, and I sat you down at your table. This was a few years ago when I was in school. But, Rondo, I saw that thumb. It looks like it might be all right. It's long. It's large. Wiggle it around a little bit. Do something. Get some magic into that thumb so you can come out and help your team out. But we'll see what the Bulls do. Celtics have firm control over the series, but it goes back to Chicago. It will get windy. We'll see how much it can blow. Maybe it'll blow the Celtics over. Who knows? Washington, I smell you once more, knocking at the chamber door. John Wall and Bradley Beal balled out last night. House of Guards delivered a royal flush of the Hawks. Now, Bradley Beal, John Wall, you guys dropping 20. That's cool. But the real story, Otto Porter reignited his talents with 17 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Otto Porter, if you play like that, teams are going to be in a chance. Your team's going to be in the game and have a chance to win every single time. So shout out to Otto Porter for getting some production finally, because he's been very quiet this entire series. Nothing to stress about, but Boston's in a dogfight. So I wouldn't really worry about, oh, we might go 6. Well, you guys are going to go 6, but we might go 7 games because Boston, they're in a dogfight themselves. They'll be just as tired. They're not going to get the same amount of rest either. So it's really not something that I'm overly concerned about. But I do think Washington, they are a team that can definitely make some noise. That's going to be a series that I look forward to seeing if it does take place, Washington versus Boston, just because of the history between those guys and the all black. You remember John Wall? They all came out in the suits. That will be a very physical series. So we'll see if it comes to fruition. Russ's season ended Tuesday. Pat Bev, he's always running it. Pat Bev got that mouth. Pat Bev this, Pat Bev that. But, you know, Russell Westbrook being tired just looked at him and said, your mom. And, yeah, they got knocked out. But what does this historic season mean? If you ask Alonzo, I will tell you that, Russell Westbrook probably had one of the greatest seasons that we've seen in quite some time. And this was on the level of Jumpman himself. This season was comparable to all those championships that we saw Michael Jordan win for the Bulls and the iconic step back in the over Byron Russell and the shot over Elo. Now, I'm not saying this is championship worthy. Don't run amok with the statement I just made. But I am saying, if you want to talk about legendary, Russell Westbrook has shown thus far that he is legendary. So mention him in the same breath. When it's all said and done, I think this man will at least win 1 or 2 championships if he's in the right situation. But Russell Westbrook, historic season, you broke Oscar Robertson's record. He even had triple-doubles in the first round of the playoffs. So what? He got knocked out. The Thunder, get him some help. You guys lost James Harden, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka. Whoever's running that show there needs to be booted out of town. Get him around. Get him out. Get him around the corner. Now, Leslie Alexander, the Rockets owner, taxed 100 bans by the NBA, which he should have been, for getting up off of the bench and yelling at the referee. Didn't want to stay in his seat. I mean, Leslie Alexander, I know you're the owner of the Rockets, but just because you're the owner and you say, oh, I own this building, I own these players, I own these coaches, I own every inch of this building, I can say what I want to. Leslie Alexander, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but you can't jump out of your seat and go say something to the referee and almost essentially affect the outcome of the game, because if you get in that ref's feelings, he knows you own the building. He may feel a certain type of way. Maybe I should call that travel. Maybe I should call that double dribble. Maybe I should call that. You can't do that, Leslie Anderson. So applause to Adam Silver for finding Leslie Anderson. Hopefully he learns from this, because there's people in Vegas that may look at that a little smelly if you're talking to referees and they see some things that don't go their way. Now, NFL-wise, let's move there. Joe Thomas, he admits that he's got short-term memory loss. Now, obviously, this is an offensive tackle from Wisconsin. Got drafted in 2007. He is a great player for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Thomas, though. Yeah, I understand that you're very outspoken. I think this guy, Joe Thomas, would make a great GM, great head coach. I've seen him speak on several occasions. Saw him talk at the Pro Bowl on Mike and Mike. But I've come to the realization, and everyone else has come to the realization, that yes, there are inherent dangers when playing football. However, I mean, can't you write the books when you're done? I understand you're giving all that, but this is something. How does it make you look, the fact that you would acknowledge, yeah, I've got short-term memory loss, but, I mean, we all just forget things. We've all walked in grocery stores and said, what did I even come in here to get? That's completely normal, but considering the CTE information that's surrounding football, and there's a lot of research that's going against the actual playing of the sport. I don't know if I'm in the sport if I'd say things along these lines, because youth are definitely declining in the sport. So why would you want to affect that? I understand you want to make people aware. They should know about the research of concussions and CTE. However, a statement like this troubles me, because it makes me think Joe Thomas is crazy. The fact that he says, I'm going to beat my brains up, I'm going to have short-term memory loss, and I don't care. I mean, I applaud what he tried to do, but I think that maybe this wasn't the right time or right thing to say, especially with the draft coming up. I don't know. I just think it was a little off base, but he's very outspoken. That's one thing I do respect about him. He says he's okay with it. He wants to play football. He loves the sport. I can dig that. But don't forget this. Football is the single-handed greatest team sport in the world. Remember that. And that's all I'll say about that. The NFL draft starts tonight in Philly. Who's the best running back? Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, or Dalvin Cook? They talk about all the issues with Dalvin Cook off the field. Leonard Fournette obviously can't stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey, versatility, but can he do it from one spot really well? We don't know. These are all questions that need to be answered. However, let's not overthink it. Let's not forget about Leonard Fournette's season where he was running for 200 yards plus the first 4 or 5 games of the season. Remember that. Remember Dalvin Cook catching the ball out of the backfield and scurrying down the field. Remember Christian McCaffrey catching bunts and going wherever and catching the screens and the flanks. Remember that, okay? When you're assessing this talent NFL draft, because this day marks your future. Now, the QB decision, it shouldn't be this hard. I mean, the Browns, they mess picks up every year. Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Watson has proved time and time again, even in the national championship, that he was the best player in college football this year, that he got robbed of a Heisman. So you're going to take the supposed to be Heisman winner and not draft him because you see a couple games and tape from Mitch Trubisky and he might fit into our system. Oh my gosh, Cleveland Browns, go ahead and hire Zoe Knows to come in there and draft your pick for you. I'll get it done because somebody in there can't. They're overthinking it, but maybe they're just telling us stuff to tell us stuff. Please, please, please take Deshaun Watson. And Joe Mixon made some mistakes. Maybe he'll find a new life. Hope somebody picks him up. He does deserve a second chance. I think everybody deserves a second chance because we've all made mistakes and we've all done things that are not right, and we've committed transgressions that we're not proud of. And if he doesn't get that chance, understand. But I will say that I'm a big supporter of second chances. So if he does, great. If he doesn't, then people just have to live with consequences. But I'm interested to see where Joe Mixon goes. I really am. Now, NHL wise, Crosby versus Ovechkin. I can't wait to see that. They're in the playoffs tonight, going up against one another. Ovechkin, you need a ring. What are you going to do to secure that? Because Crosby's got 3 of them, and you're about to be the Ewing to Crosby Jordan if you can't win a championship at some point. So, Alexander Ovechkin, I'm calling you out for the Washington Capitals. Get it done. Caps versus the Penguins. It's at Washington tonight. Make sure you watch it. I'll probably be checking it out a little bit because I like when those two guys play. They go at it. But we shall see who wins that series. But for your legacy, you need one ring, Ovechkin. Stop letting Sidney Crosby get all the shine, man. Do something about it. You got Austin Matthews on the come up. Jack Eichel on the come up. You got to fix this, man. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We'll see. We will wrap next Tuesday about who picked who and who won what and who went home, who packed their bags. Will it be Chicago? Will it be Boston? Will it be Atlanta? Will it be Washington? Who knows? But thank you for watching the Zono Sports Show where you know Zoe knows.